New York City. There are many museums to visit here, but so far, none like this.
People have been occupying spaces since the beginning of time. In this new museum, we will highlight recent efforts of local residents to clean up abandoned buildings and vacant lots and reclaim them for community use.
We are turning the abandoned storefront of an historic reclaimed building into MoRUS, the Museum of Reclaimed Urban Space. In New York's vibrant East Village, we will present a living archive and history of the famous buildings, gardens, and streets that were saved from decay and built into a community by imaginative and hardworking neighbors.
You don't have to destroy this garden or any other gardens! You do not have to destroy this garden or any other
They want to come here and make the garden. No!
So there's so much pulse and color in the streets of New York City, but some of that history is disappearing in front of our eyes. Having a museum of the reclaimed would help us, in my mind, recognize this alternative history of New York City.
For over 25 years, we worked in this community, collecting video, photography, and documenting grassroots community behavior and how they changed the neighborhood. And now we have the community's approval to open this museum and display these artifacts for you.
Here's where you come in. So to get this thing off the ground, we need construction materials. We need paint, tools, chairs, stairs, floors, ceilings, windows, everything in between. This museum will exhibit and preserve the rich history of the community's reclamation of urban spaces.
And we just got the architectural plans approved and we're ready to start construction.
Having a museum to talk about and document the 35 years of this history in New York City, I think it's essential. Where I teach at City University, place-based learning is essential. We really focus on learning by place. So I would love to have a resource which I could take my students to, and I could invite other scholars to bring their students to walk through and do a literal physical walking tour of the community gardens in Lower East Side, to look at the old squats, to look at how New Yorkers created a work of art within their own neighborhoods. And I think that's a resource that we need to have in New York City right now.
Then the neighborhood came and they cleaned it up and they created this place which we call
Jardín del Paraíso!
Right. And this neighborhood has the highest concentration of community gardens anywhere in the United States.
And we will be glad to give you a tour of this amazing and beautiful paradise.
And all the gardens.
Yeah!
Part of this museum, part of what it's saying is that A, these spaces were created through a do-it-yourself spirit of innovation and creativity, but B, that this is a living practice which must be emulated around the world.
When we open our new museum, we will lead tours to these occupied and reclaimed buildings, and we will have the very same people who open them speak about how they revitalized them.
There's an alternative history of New York City which needs to be recognized. It's a history built by regular people who contributed to their neighborhoods, built community gardens, rebuilt their neighborhoods with sweat equity and their own passion. And this is a history we need to recognize and build upon.
Less than a generation ago, occupiers, artists, builders, and gardeners preserved and fostered the Lower East Side community with their do-it-yourself ethic. This history must be kept alive and retold to new generations. Please help us preserve this rich history.